Welcome everybody to another live session. Rajiv Ji is getting. Rajiv Ji is joining just in a minute. Hello, it's been a long time, or at least I feel it's been a long time. How's everyone doing? We do this for people who are new. We do this every other Thursday. So if we did it this Thursday, next Thursday we won't do it. We'll do it another Thursday. Next Thursday, there's a very important podcast coming up. You should definitely watch it. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I know Rajiv ji said that he will be joining, so I'm just waiting for him. Meanwhile, I'll also wait for all of you to come live and we can all. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, no, maybe. Change the monitor so all the settings are. I lost all the settings. Camera quality is good. I like it. I upgraded some of few things on the camera side. When is my green card interview coming? जब मेरा green card हाथ में आ जाएगा तब I'll be making it. I'm filming a video with my immigration lawyer tomorrow, so wait for that. Rajiv Ji, I don't know where Rajiv Ji is. Asking him to join. 1 second, give me 1 second while he joins this. Rajiv Ji is here. Hope he is here. How's it going?
All good, Yudi. Can you send me the link? I'll send it to my friend.
1 second. Yeah. Okay, can you still hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, I can't hear you now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Let's see if people can. Can everybody hear Rajiv Ji? Please let me know. And if you can hear me.
Guys, everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, USCIS, CBP, EOS, consulate visa.
Rajiv Ji sending you the link on your email so you can send it to her.
Sounds good. How have you been, Yudi? Everything okay?
All good. Just super busy at work, but it's good.
Busy is good. That means you have a job.
That does mean I have a job.
Yeah. So when you don't have work, you should start worrying.
Yeah. True. Video link. All right, cool. We have a lot of people online. Sorry, this is my new setup. I mean, monitor is new, so I'm like trying to figure out where everything is. But you know how immigration is your passion, this is my passion, figuring out the gadgets. And
You just like to see yourself. That's what it is.
yeah, I mean, isn't it nice to like have a nicer quality? Like if, I mean, think about it in your world, right? Immigration world. If you do it just okay job, you would not enjoy it. So I want to do the
No, I
best.
agree. I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. Someone said you're looking sexy.
They're talking to you, not to me.
No, this they said you look sexy. Okay.
Oh, stop, you guys.
All right, cool. Sorry for all the delays and technical difficulties, but we can get started. Can we, Sushmita is asking, can we go for H1B stamping in Canada from F1?
Can we go from F1 to H1? Yeah, absolutely. See, Canada, I'm not sure they are doing the calls, they're doing the visas right now. But as a general principle, you can go to any consulate in the world. This is called third country national processing, and it's a lot easier to do it from in H1. It's difficult to do it on student visas because they like to give student visas the first time around in your home country, but not always. So short answer is yes, but check ahead and make sure they are giving you appointments.
Okay. All right. Next one is I am on a STEM OPT. Is it risky to go to Canada to renew my F1 visa?
The answer is not any more risky than it would be in any other country. The only problem is make sure that you know the rules for crossing by land and crossing by air are different. So make sure you understand the rules. It might be easier to go by air than to go by land. Number one. Number two, make sure they can give you an appointment. But I don't see any reason why Canada should be any more difficult than any other country. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is my last working day in one of my last company was Sunday. So will that be a problem or a point of worry with respect to my STEM OPT application? Don't
I don't see
understand.
why.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I'm not sure I understand the problem, but to
Me.
me, it does not appear to be an issue at all.
Yeah. Lot
See,
of
as long
questions.
as you get your extension filed before the end of your current EAD, you are good as gold. Whether it ends on a Sunday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, unless you like Tuesdays and your Mahavir Hanuman is your guy, then I can understand.
Any news on second lottery for H1B?
No news. That would be entirely too orderly, and USCIS doesn't work like that. They throw things at you, like do the best with this. This is what's coming at you.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing is driven to your door. Things are just thrown at you.
Okay. Shushmita is clarifying again. Can I travel between Canada and US without H1B stamp as I have
Yes.
F1 visa until next year?
Well, hang on one second. You will not travel on F1 visa. You will travel on H1B I-94. Okay. So the way it works is, let's say I'm on F1. God forbid. I don't want to go back that far back in time. Let's say I'm on F1. Okay. My visa is good for another 2 years. But I've got my H1B and I've got a change of status. And the change of status has already kicked in. So, it depends if your change of status is starting on October 1st of this year, then the travel rules are different. But if it has already kicked in, I don't travel on the F1 visa. That's over. I've got an H1B. So I'll travel on the I-94 without a visa stamp as long as my trip to Canada is less than 30 days. That's called automatic visa revalidation, AVR. Okay. But if your H1B is kicking in on October 1st, I have to check the rules. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that should be okay, as far as I know. But double check it. There is an ICE frequently asked questions on travel during the H1B quota time. And if you don't find it, remind me. I'll do a quick write up for you guys.
Okay. Can experienced work on CPT and travel to India? Don't understand the question.
Well, I think he's got a point, or she's got a point. See, curricular practical training can be tricky because there are so many rules, and I have on my blog on immigration.com, I have written a summary of CPT rules, day one CPT, normal CPT, how it is different from OPT. Take a look at it. Government before Mr. Biden's government wasn't particularly fond. Even Obama's administration was not particularly fond of CPT because the perception is that CPT is being misused to just create EADs. So if you travel, your chances of getting into problems are much higher than if you did not have a CPT. They'll try to find a way. If you had to go get a visa, that would be extremely complicated. Even if you had a visa at the airport when you come back, if they want to latch on to that issue, they could.
Another interesting, I don't think we can help it, but here's the question. My student consultant turned out to be an agent. They have my passport and now asking 1 lakh rupees for visa approval fees. What can I do?
First of all, the passport is the property of the government of India. So what you do is, if you're in India, file a police complaint. And preferably take an MLA or somebody with you who can make sure that the police does not just sweep your complaint under a carpet, or they are not already bought and paid for. That's another problem in India. So that nobody can withhold your passport. That's illegal.
Okay. Well, I hope it's crazy. I think people just go to.
Well, we had shortcuts to problems like that, but I guess you guys are not built like that. We were built differently. Nobody could have done that.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is if I do change. If I do a change of status from H4 to F1 visa by staying in United States and complete my study and start my OPT period, then can I travel outside of USA during my OPT period? If yes, whether stamping is required?
The answer to both questions is yes. Can you travel? Yes. Will stamping be required? Yes. Will you get the stamping? I think so.
And the stamping will be for F1?
F1, because OPT is a continuation of F1.
But that's going to be so hard because...
it's difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah, that's a hard one. My last working day. That's the same question. Rohit, we don't understand your question. Maybe rephrase your question. We don't understand what you mean by last.
Last working day was Sunday. And my question to your question is, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
So what am I missing?
Right.
Because obviously you have some concern. I'm just not following your concern.
Yeah. Another one is I'm on H1B, perm applied. I'm planning to move to Canada, different company. If my priority date becomes current, can I move back to USA with that priority date? What are the conditions?
Okay. So there are a couple of different issues here. Once the I-140 is approved, the priority date is your property. Nobody can take that away. When you come back, you have two options. It's a decision tree. Am I going with the same company or am I going with a different company? If you go with the same company who did your I-140, you can file 485. But be prepared to answer the question, why did you leave? This was supposed to be a permanent job. And why did the company let you go if they were considering you for a permanent job? And while you were gone, who was doing this job? Was the job discontinued? Because if the job was discontinued, the green card is over. You got to do a new one. Carry the same priority date. So this is complicated. You go to a new employer, you have to start the green card all over again, but you will carry the same priority date as you did from before. So two different decision forks there. There's a fork there, two different paths.
Oh, Rohit is asking since so he's the Sunday guy is asking that his concern is that Sunday is usually not a working day and it comes under holidays, so that's why I asked.
So what?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
And
don't worry about that, Rohit.
Sometimes you have to work overtime. I do it all the time.
No, but I don't think that's an issue at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his concern is.
Yeah, something is bothering him. I don't think he's articulating it well.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Rohit, put down your glass of wine and then talk to us.
And for people who are asking, you can reach out on help@immigration.com for any emails. All right. Will H1B always be based on luck?
So far, let's see what happens.
In December? When is the December 31st, right? The date when they're gonna, I mean, that's where they have extended till to make the
No,
decision based on wage. No?
no. That the government last week came to the court and said, or week before last, they said, you know what, we're going to withdraw. There was a lawsuit filed and they withdrew from the lawsuit. They said they want to reconsider that regulation. So it's been put
Oh.
on hold indefinitely.
Okay. Okay. Is changing from L1B to H1B easy while staying in United States?
That's it's like saying, is recovering from cancer easy? Well, it depends upon the stage of the cancer, where it was, what kind of treatment did you take. It's L1 to H1 is as easy as any other conversion. There's nothing special. You don't have to bring a coconut with incense sticks and do any kind of magic. It's just routine stuff. As long as the bigger problem is not the conversion, the bigger problem is getting the H1B approval. If you are qualified, the job is qualified, and it's a fairly easy process. No big deal. Koi jadoo nahi. No voodoo.
Okay.
No voodoo that we do.
Faz Khan, nice name. Faz. He's asking if my company puts me in H1B lottery, will it have any negative impact if I try to renew my F1 visa, since one of the requirement of F1 visa is to prove non-immigrant intent? Oh, so he's in India and his current company is filing for H1B.
Absolutely. I don't see why that should be an issue. First of all, H1B is also a non-immigrant visa. So how
But you
has
can
your
have an immigrant intent, right? Like,
yeah, but just because you applied for another non-immigrant visa that has different characteristics from your current non-immigrant visa is not necessarily a problem.
right.
So the short answer is probably not a problem.
So don't worry.
Don't worry too much. Worry a little bit, but not too much. If you're in Mumbai, go to Haji Ali, spend a couple of hours there. Excellent qawwalis, and then
Yeah.
that should.
Yeah. But with COVID, I don't know how crowded.
Yeah, stay away from people though.
Okay, next one is, what are the benefits of green card versus citizenship, or how is it different from citizenship?
Well, a green card holder has one big problem. Green card can be abandoned if you leave USA and go to Paris for a couple of years where your girlfriend or your boyfriend lives. You could lose your green card. If you're a US citizen, you could go live in Paris for 10 years and you would not lose your citizenship. You don't have to have any connection with USA.
How many months do you have to be in United States? 3?
Well, I'm actually going to write an article. That will be, I had asked Economic Times if they wanted me to cover that, and they said, yeah, that sounds interesting, which is abandonment of green card. People have so many wrong ideas about how if you keep coming back every 6 months, your green card is preserved. All of that is nonsense. Okay. So I'm going to, I'll write a comment. Probably if I get the time this weekend, I'll write it up. I did write a comment on student visa people applying for a green card. That's in the Economic Times. I also posted on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on not YouTube, on Twitter. I haven't still figured out how to post things on Instagram. I can do some things. Like yesterday, I discovered that I had a bunch of unanswered messages. Sorry, guys. I just didn't know where they were. I could see them. I just wasn't able to find them. And I'm technologically quite savvy. Nevertheless, this Instagram thing has me completely beat. I have no idea. I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, you will. Next one is, I'm a corporate strategy manager with MBA degree in finance from US University. I conducted several $1 million investment feasibility studies for new investment. Do I have a chance for EB2 NIW?
Yes. You might. See, if you are an India-born person with a spouse also India-born, I don't like any NIW for you. I would rather look at an EB1 for you. I had a very interesting call today. One of our clients from 20 years ago called me, and and I was on Zoom with them, a bunch of them, and
Was that
he
the
gave
call
up his green
before?
card. I'm sorry?
What was that? That was the call you were
Yeah,
on?
the EB1A, yeah. So no, I was on call with a friend of mine, with Neha actually. Hi Neha. So yeah, she said she wanted to join, my colleague from India. So these guys had a very interesting, they wanted to see if we should invest money to come back because they gave up their green card. They had a green card, then they gave it up. Now they are not sure they want to come back. So when I started looking at he's a businessman, but his resume is very impressive. He started a company that has, huge amount of profit, 25 different operations. And I said, why don't we try B1A? Next thing is he tells me, yeah. I've been written up in the newspapers. There are 50 articles about me. Let's see. So I should be looking at an EB1A because right away I can see 3 categories satisfied. I have to satisfy 3 out of 10. 3 categories I can see: leading or critical role, 2, salary, which is much higher than your competition, and 3, there is public material or public media has talked about you. So for this gentleman who's got the finance thing going, maybe he's got high salary. Maybe I can definitely see that he's handled some high numbers. So that would be a critical role. And remember, you don't have to be employed by that company. So for example, we had a client who had done work on the Aadhaar project. She was critical to that project. Now, she was not employed by the government of India, but she performed critical role. We could use that. She didn't even get an RFE, not one RFE. Her EB1A was approved, smooth as silk. So send me your resume, Mr. Finance guy. Send me your resume. Let me take a look at it. help@immigration.com. We don't charge anything for resume reviews. And please don't send me silly resumes. Microsoft Word, Excel. No, please. Wait till you've developed your skills. I've seen those resumes too. That's why I'm saying.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Okay, next one is from Abhay asking, I'm currently working as a software engineer in a Fortune 500 company. They want to send me to USA on F1 visa. Can I ask them to apply for H1B instead? Will that demand be seen negatively?
First of all, he said he's looking for an Indian company. That's a multinational, right?
Right. Fortune 500, yeah.
L1. Do an L1. That's the best thing. You can go to school on an L1 and work at the same time. And if you get an L1A, you get a green card within a year.
But does L1 have to be manager?
Executive or manager. Some that are specialty occupation. I'm sorry, not specialty occupation. Specialty, special knowledge people. So for instance, let's say that we have a product and one of the architects of the product wants to come to the USA. We can arrange an L1B for them.
My guess is he's just a software engineer, so he's probably not at that manager level.
Yudi, I can hear people in the background saying, what did you just say? Just a software engineer? That computer that you're working on, we are the reason it's working. And that stream that you're streaming, we are the reason that's streaming.
I'm a manager of software development, so I don't know the value, but I
you were just a software.
I meant he's not, his question seems that he's not a manager. So in that case, would F1 visa be better than H1B?
Look, F1 visa can be denied just because they don't like your face. So I could never get an F1 visa. Okay. H1B visa cannot be denied just because they don't like your face. But H1B has that darn lottery. You have to win through the lottery. So you're trying to compare apples and oranges. There's really no comparison. Your question is, if I try for an H1B and fail, is that going to be a problem? First of all, make sure your case is properly reviewed. If you win the lottery, just because you played the lottery has no bearing on your F1. Because you didn't play the lottery, your employer played the lottery.
Yeah. Almost feel like, actually, the question was, sorry, I misread the question. You were actually right.
We talked anyway. It's okay.
No. The question was, he actually did say that his company wants to send to USA on L1 visa. and
yeah.
but he's saying, can I instead ask H1B? So answer is
Oh my God, no, no, no. Why would you want to? H1B, first of all, you'll have to wait till next October to start, not 21, 22 October. Also, there's no guarantee you will get it. L1, there's no lottery.
Yeah. And if dependent of L1 can also work, right away.
Yeah, L1, they get an L2, they get an employment authorization.
Yeah, L2.
Absolutely. And if you are just a software developer, that's okay too.
Oh boy. Can you talk
I'm
something
not
about?
letting that go, Yudi.
I know. Can you talk something about K1 visa? Is
Sure.
it finance?
K1 visa, there are two visas, K1 and K3. K1 is for fiancés of US citizens. It's not available to fiancés of green card holders. Fiancé means you're not yet married. Sometimes what people do is, oh, we just did the Indian religious ceremony. If the marriage is legal in India, it is K1 is over. You can't do a K1. Many people have gotten into trouble. This is the most common mistake or problem that I see in K1s. One of the requirements of K1 is that you must have physically met each other. I think it's a stupid requirement unless you have a reason. So for instance, we had a Russian guy who was physically incapacitated. He could not travel back to Russia, but he had a fiancée. They had been talking with each other for years. They just had never physically met, and we were able to get an exemption for him. There's a reason why he couldn't travel. And another thing is, within 90 days after you enter, you've got to get married, and then you file your green card.
Okay. Next one is my brother had not picked for H1B. What options he may have to stay in United States?
Okay, I'm thinking of changing my brothers. Loser. Didn't get. See, most commonly what people are doing is, if you want to genuinely study more, I would go for the CPT option. I think it's a good option. But please, genuinely, if you want to study, don't misuse the system. Somewhere along the line, it'll catch up with you.
Next is I got my H1B recently approved and stamped. I'm traveling to USA first time since travel ban. Is there? I can't fly directly. Can I quarantine in Mexico and travel to USA?
People are doing that. People are staying a couple of weeks in Costa Rica. Some people are staying in Mexico. But
Costa
like I
Rica
told
sounds
you,
good.
Yeah, Costa Rica sounds good, doesn't it? Or Jamaica. And I wouldn't go to Jamaica. I don't know what their state of COVID is, but Costa Rica has been very environmentally and otherwise very, very cautious with their country. So who knows? Double check that, but just make sure of two things. There's a green light going in. In other words, that country is allowing people from India to come in. And there's a green light going into USA from that country. Otherwise, this whole thing will be for nothing.
So is there like a quarantine, like you have to quarantine for 14 days, or is that like a rule, right?
That's a local requirement. If they require it locally, then you should. Because now think about it, we are dealing with the laws of two countries. We are going to Costa Rica. I think you like that. So we'll just go to Costa Rica. And if Costa Rica government says, listen, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, then you quarantine. Then you fly to USA. If US government says you've got to quarantine for 2 weeks, then you quarantine. So these are laws of two different countries.
Yeah. Okay.
The law that is stopping you from entering the US from India is directed towards your presence in India, not because you're Indian.
Babu is saying, there's a guy called Babu or girl, I don't know. He's saying,
No, Babu's a guy.
Guy.
Unless it's
girlfriend, boyfriend says, call each other, no, Babu.
Some of Indian men, yes, I can understand.
Saying Rajiv sir is looking dashing today.
Yeah, it's my shirt.
Sexy, dashing. I think it's time for you to start dating again.
What do you mean start? When did I stop?
I thought you were done with it.
No. I was telling one of my friends just yesterday, I said, लोगों की जवानी आती नहीं, हमारी जाती नहीं, करे क्या
Right. Okay. My F1 is expired and currently on first year OPT. Can I travel to India and get it renewed?
Did you say it's F1 that needs to be renewed?
Yeah.
Well, they are supposed to be putting the F1s on the front burner, but I don't know when you'll get a visa appointment. So that's the problem. It's a practical issue. But theoretically, if there were no bans, no other issues, yeah, you could go to India and get an F1 visa stamp.
Do they have to give the interview again? Or is it just the
In fact,
Dropbox?
they might be able to get the Dropbox thing done if you meet all the requirements.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they probably don't have to. So double check. I'm not sure what the state of affairs for F1 students who are applying for a visa renewal. Well, actually, a new visa. I'm not sure what the state of affairs is. It also doesn't hurt to correspond with the consulate. They are responding to emails.
John is asking employment green card received 2018 December. When can I apply for citizenship if I've been out of country for 60 days?
Oh, 60 days is nothing. See, what are the requirements for naturalization? Number one, and this is ordinary people. If you're married to a US citizen, timings are different. But if you're applying like from an employment-based category to naturalization, your green card must have been approved approximately 5 years earlier. Why did I say approximately? Because you're allowed to apply for naturalization 90 days before the 5th year anniversary of your green card approval, as long as you have maintained domicile in that state for 90 days. Okay. So you can apply 90 days ahead, number one. Number two, you must have been physically present in the United States at least 2.5 years of that last 5 years, which is 30 months. Number three, you should not have any visit outside the US for 1 year or more. That's a presumptive problem. Right away, there's an issue. If you've been outside USA in any 12-month period for more than 6 months, less than 1 year, they will ask for an explanation. Why were you gone that long? Did you sever your ties with the United States? And if you were gone less than 6 months in any one 12-month period, no problem at all. So 90 days before the 5th anniversary, 2.5 years physical presence, no protracted absence from the United States, you're good to go. And also, if you've not been robbing banks, that also helps. Moral turpitude is a problem.
That does help. Can one leave the company who filed EB green card immediately after the green card?
Yeah, we have covered that many times before. If you go to immigration.com and look at the frequently asked questions, I have covered that at least 100 times in the last couple of years. So if you still have questions, come back to me. I have covered it extensively.
Yeah. Some vague questions. Next one is, when can we expect the ban to be lifted from India to USA on B1, B2? Is that a ban? Or he's talking about travel restriction?
Yeah, I'm going to have to call Modi ji on that. It depends upon how well he's doing with controlling the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah. I hope it's getting better.
Let me call them. Narendra ji, Rajiv.
That'll be nice. Can you talk about F1 to K2? K2 is
There's no. What is a K2? I've never heard of a K2. K3 though I've heard, but never heard of a K2. K2 is a peak in the Himalayas. Or is it not in the Himalayas? Maybe it's in the Alps. It's a peak. A lot of climbers go to K2. Yeah.
Okay. Next one is hi Yudi, help for my cousin. He entered USA on B2 visa in 2017 and changed his status to F1. He's having approval notice I-797A from USCIS. What does he need to get visa stamping in India?
A lot of luck. Because they're not going to like the fact that he entered on a tourist visa and converted to an F1 visa.
Yeah.
So my recommendation, don't.
Yeah. How soon can I switch employers as soon as I enter USA on H-1B visa?
2 days after you enter, no problem at all. Anytime. The only thing I would like you to do is at least report for duty and join. Be on the payroll. Even if you don't get a paycheck, just at least work a couple of days. Because you entered the United States using the H-1B approval based upon which you were given a visa that was based upon a particular job. At least take that job. It'd be nice if you can stay there a couple of months. It's not a rule of law, it's a rule of logic. Often law and logic are not seeing eye to eye, but in this case they do.
Mm. For all the people who are asking about F1 to EB1 and EB2, we have covered those as well. So you should go check it out, either of our channels.
Yeah.
Is
Well, actually, Monica is not in the country, so I'm not really posting your videos because I have so many other things going on.
When does she come back?
She has some family related COVID problems, so she's stuck there taking care of everyone. And I am trying to do the work of, she's doing a lot of work from there also, but not, see, you need a lot of bandwidth to do the video things. And I'm doing the conference videos. I created template, the software we use. I just created a template. It takes me 2 minutes to do that. But this takes a lot more time and I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving it to you. You take care of this. As long as people have access to the information, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Yeah. I like that attitude. Okay. Can we come in July F1 or not?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But
I don't remember if it's July 2nd or July 3rd, but no earlier than July 3rd and no earlier than 30 days before your session start. But if you're an OPT, you can travel on July 3rd.
Okay. But if he's coming for the first time on F1 and his program starts on August 23rd, then...
Yeah, then about August 1st or July 29th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
30 days before the session start date. That has always been the law. That's not new.
Yeah. 30 days or was it 60? No, maybe 30.
30 days. 60 days is to leave.
Yeah. Okay, next is, I don't think we can answer it, but here we go. I'm a continuing student planning to go back in August. I'm done with vaccination. Do I have to quarantine when I land back in United States?
I do not know. Sorry. I have not been, I'd be surprised if they want you to, but look at what CDC guidelines are. Actually, go to the Customs and Border Protection website, cbp.gov, Customs and Border Protection, and see what the requirements for entry are. They are the guys who control you at the airport.
Yeah. Next is from Chantu. 11 years back, my F1 visa got rejected because somebody has written my TOEFL exam and visa officer found that out and rejected my F1 visa. Now my profile got picked up for H1B lottery. Do you think this will be a problem? Can I get H1B visa?
If the denial was based upon fraud, I think it's 212A9, something like that. If it was denied for fraud, that's a permanent bar. You can try getting a 212D as in Doctor 3 waiver, 212D3 waiver, but for fraud cases, it's very difficult.
Okay. Does birth certificate required at any point of time in USA planning for masters? Yes.
No. Why would you need your birth certificate?
Not for masters, but for any time later.
Oh, I don't think you submit birth certificate in non-immigrant visa cases, do you? Did you have to submit your...
For green card, yes. For green
card.
For
green card, yes.
Not for...
For student, no. You don't do...
Yeah. No, I think he's even asking later, like H1B.
Yes, of course. By the time you get to the green card stage, H1B, you don't need it for sure.
Yeah.
F1B, I applied in 1987. After that, I don't know. So... but for green card and for naturalization, yeah, I think you need it. For green card, for sure you need it.
Yeah.
H1B, for sure you do not need it.
Right. All the side income questions on F1 visa, we have
No,
covered
no,
that.
no, 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 no. Next.
We covered like several times. So
I like to really advocate for that because it's such a silly requirement. This our
or at
life.
least have a clear guidelines of what they can do and what they cannot do, because it's like a
They would be,
gray area.
my recommendation would be if I'm not taking an American job, I should be allowed to do any economic activity that I want to engage in, as long as I'm maintaining my grades and keeping my number of credits that are required every semester.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, other economic activity actually helps the US economy. Okay. So if I start a YouTube channel, let's call it Yudi's channel, and we are creating wealth here. Money is coming from all over the world. What's wrong with that? And what you are doing or what I'm doing is not something that a US worker can do.
Right.
It's not. There's no competition for it.
Yeah.
It's just a true, unique personal thing.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But the answer right now is don't do it.
Next one is from Hirsch, is asking, he needs help with O1 visa. A company in LA is offering me that. What help do you need with that? Maybe
yeah, O1 visa is also like an EB1A. It doesn't matter what the company is, at least not directly. What matters is what your qualifications are.
Can I apply for student visa at 32 years old?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me clarify something here, guys. You need to hear this. There is no mandatory retirement age here. In fact, if I apply for a job and Yudi applies for a job and they reject me because I'm older, I can sue them. There's an Age Discrimination Act. If two people who are equally qualified and I can lift the same weight as he can, and I'm as vigorous as he is, they can't say, well, you are 60 and he's 20. That doesn't jive well in this country. So don't think that age is the only factor. But age can be a factor where somebody is not genuinely a student. Okay. So if you ask me, if I had to go back to school, would I go back to school? If the firm told me, look, you can just work 2 hours a day, rest of the time you can do what pleases you and we'll take care of the rest, I would go back to school. I would go back and either get a degree in bioinformatics or bioengineering, something because my background is in biology.
Yeah. Or data science. The big booming.
Data science, I'm not crazy about numbers by themselves. I like numbers connected to an artificial limb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, next one is Sumita is asking, how long will my H4 and H4 EAD application will take to get approved if applied in June 2021 after the biometrics is waived off?
Sumita, nobody can tell you that. Nobody. We just know there are a couple of lawsuits pending, one filed by the American Immigration Lawyers Association. They're working on it. But right now, nobody can tell you. It'll take whatever time it takes.
Next one is Rajiv Ji, I received a 221G for my F1 visa on 1st June. My class start date is 30th August. I already deferred my admit from fall 2020 to 2021.
Didn't you just talk to me? I'm trying to remember. This is an exactly same fact pattern. Oh yeah, somebody talked to me from New Delhi the other day. I have a Toastmasters club I go to by Zoom. And somebody there was asked. They asked me exactly the same question. The only difference was they had not received a 212D3. They just received denied, but they held on to his passport. And I said, well, they are doing a 212G for you. And the answer to sometimes it is connected to, I don't know if it is, but I'm making a guess. Sometimes it is connected to something in your background hit a snag and they want to double check it. For example, your name matches the name of somebody who's on the lookout list, something like that. And that usually gets cleared pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's saying he's freaking out. So,
no, don't freak out. You'll be all right. Just chill. Chill, man. Chill. You'll be okay.
All right. Next one is from Harshit. I'm a PhD student, and there have been talks about green card for PhD holders in
Yeah,
USA after graduation. Is there any pathways for green card?
it's talk. It's talk. Until it happens, it's all talk. So let's see what happens in the midterm elections. If Democrats do well, I have no doubt that immigration reform will pass.
Hmm. Next one is I've received 221G for H1B due to travel ban. How much more will it take to get stamping max once the ban is lifted?
Until the ban is, or you go to a third country.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
you could withdraw your application, say, give me my passport back. I am going to go to, I don't know, whichever country is open right now. Somebody was mentioning Santo Domingo. Go to Santo Domingo, get your visa done there. There might be other countries.
New
That's one
Zealand.
option. New Zealand is another beautiful country.
Yeah.
Another option is New Zealand. Then you could go to a third country and try your H-1B, but check with them. Are they taking third country national applications? Will they take your application? You could always do that. That way you get around the ban altogether. Or you could submit to the government, to the U.S. consulate, information about national interest exception. Say I'm working, depending upon which sector of the U.S. commerce you're working in. For example, technology, finance, healthcare, manufacturing.
Yeah.
There are 13 or 16 of them. And technology is one of them, actually.
Next question is Rohit. Can I run my website on H1B but not charge any money for any of my customer? It'll be free.
That I don't have a problem with because you're not getting paid in cash or in kind.
Yeah.
Don't have them send you, I don't know.
Target gift cards.
That sounds like one of those fraud cases. They call you and say, I'm going to arrest you.
Yeah.
I've been getting those calls too because my name sounds foreign. And if I have time, I'll talk with them for a while. And one of these guys was a Punjabi. Finally, I just burst out laughing. I said, you speak Punjabi? Yes. Yes. I said, wow. I have never met a Punjabi fraudster. Good to meet you.
Yeah. All right. Ali is asking, I applied for an OPT and actually I'm in my grace period. What will happen if I didn't get any answer from immigration after my grace period?
So applied for OPT. So you can stay in the United States as long as that is pending. You just can't begin work until it comes through.
Ah, yeah. That's okay. Yeah. So
Don't pack your bags to leave. Hang out in your pajamas. Don't go outside. Don't go to work.
Yeah. Very philosophical question. Is living in India good or leave for you, or should I leave for USA from my salary is 1.2 lakhs in hand? Hardcore, subjective, very subjective.
You take it, Yudi. This beyond my expertise.
I mean, if you are not happy, I don't know. It's hard to say this question.
First of all, do you know how to make dal chawal? Do you know how to make chapatis? Because you're going to do that all yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you wash your own clothes?
Yeah.
Okay,
Take care of yourself.
Number two, are you willing to work as long as it takes to and work very diligently? Not the kind of work where you can just say, today I don't feel like going. I'll call in sick. Really, honestly, sincerely work hard, focused. I'm not saying that India is like that, but the kind of attitude that you have in Bangalore and Mumbai in careers is the same that you have here. So the focus is the same, but life is a little easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Next one is Michael is asking, is bagging an H1B from Indian employer easier than coming to US and trying for H1B as a master student route?
Well, if you come on a tourist visa and try to land a job, that might be a violation of the tourist visa.
Yeah.
So get a job.
Yeah.
Apply for an H1B, then come.
son has graduated with civil engineering major. Can he work in general engineering field in his first year of OPT?
That's something to be discussed with their um, DSO.
Best
They'll
friend.
help them because, yeah, the DSO will tell you whether this looks okay or not. I
Yeah.
cannot really comment on that. I can say this, that there's so much commonality in all the engineering fields. There's so much crossover. Many times it's difficult to say what is what. Take the help of the DSO. But the question is too generic. I have to look at the job description.
Yeah. Yeah. If it is tied to any of his coursework, I think you can justify it. But if it is something totally different,
Actually,
then
to the major, see, the problem is if you look at the regulation, it says it must be tied to your major, not to just any of your coursework.
oh, okay. Okay.
So it has to be tied to your major. The question is, what does the tie imply? What does it mean?
Yeah.
How long, how far, how much, how deep?
Mm, mm. Yeah.
That's why we call on the DSO. And as long as you have followed the DSO's lead, at least you have an argument that you tried to obey the law as best as you could.
Okay. Karthik is asking, to employer, can we apply counselor H1B? I want to know about H1B counselor processing is good or not. Also, my visa status right now is OPT EAD. Will stamp H1B in India be problem? There are a lot of questions.
Well, actually, what he's asking, I think, is this. Is it possible to not convert from F1 to H1, continue with my OPTs, and later on, whenever I want to get the H1B visa stamp and kick off my H1B period? The answer is sure. People do it all the time.
So is the benefit just so that he can use all the OPT and then got it. Interesting. I didn't know that.
You can.
Okay. Freelance, you cannot do freelance questions.
Yeah, we've done this 1,000 times.
Yeah. All right. I think we will call it. It's 10:40. Let's take any burning questions. There are a lot.
A burning question only, please.
Yes. Needs to burn my computer.
Yeah. Software developers are welcome to ask.
Even software engineer. Okay, here we go. I take software developer. I'm a software developer, got my H1B approved. Can I apply for national interest exemption to travel directly to USA?
See, another article that appeared day before yesterday. Go to my author page in the Economic Times, and you'll see I wrote an article on national interest exception for business travelers. That would be you. It tells you exactly, it gives you links to, I hope they put in the links. I haven't looked at the article. I did. So if you don't find any links to the right places, just tell me help@immigration.com. I'll send you the links.
Okay, I'll take this last one. It's very interesting. Vaibhav is asking, Rajiv ji, I'm currently doing day 1 CPD first semester, but I'm going to move to Canada through intra-company transfer. Can I apply?
That's the same like an L1.
Yeah. Can I apply for US visitor visa from Canada, and will there be an issue?
It's certainly worth a try, Vaibhavji. As long as you don't prevaricate, as long as you don't lie on the application, absolutely give it a shot. What do you have to lose? ना ही बोल देंगे ना, गोली तो नहीं मार देंगे.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's it for this one. Thank you, Rajiv ji. Any other words of wisdom before we hang up?
I don't have. Just enjoy your weekend, guys. Don't think too much. You guys are so worried about everything. इतना आप लोग चिंता करते हो. Who knows what's going to happen, guys? I just plan for today and tomorrow, and day after tomorrow can take care of itself.
Right. Yeah. What's your plan for weekend? Are you doing anything?
मेरे को बहुत काम करना है यार. I have so many things to do. I have some interesting research issues. EB1B का एक मेरे को research करना है. What is it to be a teacher? Because it's reserved for professors, etc. So we recently did an EB1B for a pulmonologist, a pulmonary specialist, where we hooked on to the fact that he is also researching. So rather than qualifying him as a physician, we can qualify him as an EB1B. Now we are doing the same thing for somebody who teaches, but not necessarily in a university setting. How can we leverage that? So I'm going to have to look at the regulations, the history of the regulations, and then I also have to complete one article about the green card abandonment. So I'm going to be busy over the weekend, but it's fun. That's what I like to do. How about you guys? Are you staying out of trouble?
Yes, we are going to Mendocino. It's a small town. It's on coast, and just visiting there. It's so hot over here, like 104, 105.
Is the puppy going with you?
Yes, yes. So I'm excited because this will be first time him being in the ocean. So see how he'll do.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, some of them fight the ocean. They want to go bite the waves.
Yeah.
Some of them just don't want to go get out from behind you. They're like,
I'm a little nervous to leave him open because what if he runs away?
They're smart. Dogs are very smart. They're smarter than most human beings I know.
Most human beings.
Including myself.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm going to be doing some filming just of the town and stuff. But
sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Take care of yourself. Have lots of fun. And don't get too deep into the ocean.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Bye.